We have a major update on Josh Hart's knee injury that has kept him out the last 2 games. The Knicks have also provided an update about Mitchell Robinson and when he'll likely return to the team. And after last night's embarrassing loss, it's clear we need Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson to return as soon as possible. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, guys, about 54% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We are on a mission to try to reach 50,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Injury update on Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson. Last night was an embarrassment. We lost again to another top team, blown off the floor. Our worst loss of the season. Now, I'm not saying if we had a fully healthy Knicks team that we would have been able to win the game, but it would have definitely been more competitive if we were fully healthy. Unfortunately, the Knicks did not have Josh Hart last night as he continues to deal with this knee injury. Let's break down these latest reports that we have about Hart and that knee injury that he's dealing with. Shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information. According to him, the Knicks Swiss Army knife was ruled out before tip-off against the Cavaliers with what the team described as patellofemoral pain syndrome in his right knee, also known as runner's knee. Mitchell Robinson remains out as he rehabs from ankle surgery. Hart has been navigating knee soreness through much of this season, but hadn't been forced to sit games until Thursdays against the Bulls. It's Hart's second straight DNP coming out of All-Star break, meaning he hasn't played in 9 days. The forward participated in Tuesday's practice, but not in Wednesday's session, according to head coach Tom Thibodeau. According to a physical therapist, runner's knee is a common ailment, and he doesn't believe it's going to derail Josh Hart's season. The forward didn't travel with the Knicks to Cleveland, but could join the club in Boston for Sunday's showdown with the Celtics. Despite the optics of the long layoff, head coach Tom Thibodeau didn't seem to be worried. According to Thibs, it's soreness. I think it's part of the league. Players have soreness. How do you deal with it? And what's the best course of action to move forward? So you trust the player, you trust medical, and medical weighs heavily on these decisions. Shout out to Steph Bondy for helping to confirm exactly what Josh Hart's knee issue is. I am very thankful to hear it's only runner's knee. And according to the physical therapist, it's a common ailment. It's not going to derail Josh Hart's season. However, even though Tom Thibodeau is not concerned, and many other people are not concerned, I am extremely concerned. And here's why. He is coming off of a break. He didn't play a couple of games and now is dealing with this issue. That would be completely different. He has been off for 9 days, practiced once, and then was not able to practice again and has not been able to return to the team, has not been able to play. And if you know Josh Hart, he wants to be available and be there for his team each and every game. The fact that he can't go makes me believe that this knee issue is a lot more concerning and probably much worse than we actually know. Because if it's just runner's knee, which again, he's been dealing with knee soreness since January 25th, but it hasn't caused him to miss any games. But now, after All-Star break, after resting, he misses a number of games and a number of practices. I am extremely concerned about Josh Hart and that knee injury. And shout out to Ian Bagley, an SNY NBA insider. He also shares my concerns and also provides an update about Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson and if we'll see them against the Boston Celtics on Sunday. According to Ian Bagley, I don't think you'll see Mitchell Robinson Sunday. With regards to Josh Hart, they've ruled Hart out immediately on these injury reports that come out the day before the game. That tells you something about the severity of this injury. He did practice last week with the Knicks, but then had to miss a practice because of that soreness. It's just troubling. So if he's going to be listed as questionable, I think maybe you have a shot there on Sunday. But Hart, obviously, they miss him. They need him. You won't have Robinson back. Maybe you'll have Hart back on Sunday when the Knicks take on the Boston Celtics. Before I get to Mitchell Robinson, I just want to remind everybody what Ian Begley just said right there about Josh Hart and that injury. I quote, "It's just troubling. The fact that he's missing all of these games, it tells you something about the severity of that injury." That's from Ian Begley, an NBA insider with sources to the team. I'm just saying, if he's concerned, if I'm concerned, the fact that Josh Hart missed this much time, he has been off and still needed more time to recover off of that knee, everybody should be concerned. I think that knee injury is much worse than we know. But we're going to get more updates about Josh Hart and his injury as we get closer to that Boston Celtics game on Sunday. But as of right now, I'm just sending out my positive vibes and my prayers to Josh Hart, hoping he's good, he's recovering well, and we will see him against Boston on Sunday. But going back to Mitchell Robinson, as we just heard, he will not be available against the Boston Celtics on Sunday. Ian Begley confirmed that, and Steph Bondy with the New York Post also confirms this as well too. According to Bondy, Mitchell Robinson remained out Friday night while recovering from his ankle surgery. And according to a league source, they state that the center will also miss Sunday's game in Boston. Robinson hasn't played since April, but returned to full contact practice this week. We have multiple NBA insiders confirming that Mitchell Robinson will not be available for Sunday's matchup against Boston. But then, what does that mean for his return? When is he going to come back? He's obviously been cleared for 5-on-5 practice. He's been doing that for a few days now. That means he's very close to returning. But what does that mean? What does that mean in terms of a date? Well, shout out to Sports Illustrated and theheavy.com for giving us the following information about Robinson and when he'll likely return for New York. According to the insiders at theheavy.com, the one positive is that Robinson has been cleared for 5-on-5 contact. However, the shot-blocking big man isn't expected to return to the court until the first week of March. I remember Shams with ESPN reporting that the Knicks and Mitchell Robinson had a goal of him returning by March 1st. Now, it looks like he's going to miss that goal because he's going to be returning the first week of March. That doesn't mean March 1st. That likely means the end of that week. But still, we're right around the corner to March, so that means his return is imminent. It's right away. It's very close. So we're going to get our shot-blocking big back. The blockness monster is very close to returning. I am upset, probably like all of you are, because a lot of you were expecting him to return against Boston on Sunday. I know I was. I wanted to see a fully healthy Knicks team last night. I wanted to see a fully healthy Knicks team this Sunday against Boston. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer before we're at full strength. But it does look like in March, that is going to happen. And it's not going to look pretty once we're at full strength because we're going to have to work Mitchell Robinson back into the rotation. And Tom Thibodeau will still play 9 players. Landry Shamet will be out of the rotation. You'll have 4 off the bench and 5 starters. That's how Tom Thibodeau is going to roll. My hope is that when Mitchell Robinson returns, the one change we'll see is that the one starter that will be put out there with the second unit will be Mikal Bridges. I feel like we're not seeing what we need to see from him on the offensive side of the ball. That's because he's playing with a starting unit that doesn't really need what he does on offense. Not so much. Yes, he's a great mid-range shooter, but the great thing about Mikal Bridges that we're not seeing is his ability to play on ball, the way he can control an offense, the way he can dictate pace. He did that with Brooklyn. We're not able to see that because we're not putting him in those positions for him to be able to do that. If he's able to run with the second unit, you're going to be able to see that Mikal Bridges. So I am hoping once Mitchell Robinson returns, that's going to be one of the changes that we see. Another change that we absolutely need to see is a change defensively. The Cavaliers last night, my goodness. I've never seen an easier blowout in my life. They blew us out without even trying. They never tried on offense. We never made them try on offense. They walked into threes. They cut all night. They were underneath the rim. Evan Mobley lived underneath the basket. He was catching lobs everywhere. That Cavs team is elite. And what the Knicks proved last night is that we are not on that level. And unless we're fully healthy, it looks like we can't be on that level. Because look at what we saw last night. That was a beatdown. It was abuse. We were down 27 points at halftime. They had 77 points. 77 points. That's the most points we gave up in a half. Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, we need you back immediately, because if we don't have you back, it's clear we don't even have a chance, a shot, a prayer to beat the top teams in the league. And I'm so upset having to say that. But after watching everything I've seen this season, watching the Knicks not being able to close out games against these top teams, what else can I say? What other message can I take away from all of these games that I've watched? We're not at that level. And until we're fully healthy, it looks like we'll never be. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following updates that we have about Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart? In the case of Hart, he might be back on Sunday against Boston. But with Mitchell Robinson, he's likely not going to return until the first week of March. Let me know how you feel about these updates in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.